Hello everyone. Today we are going to the beautiful town of Dighton, Massachusetts, and I'm going to cook for a frontline worker who is an amazing person. Hope to see you guys along my journey.
So my name's Paul. I live in Dighton, Massachusetts, and I work as a mental health clinician. Right now I work at Veterans Affairs Hospital, and I work with people on a hospice unit right now with end-of-life issues.
So Paul, you work with hospice, you said, right?
Yes.
Do you mind telling us how exactly it is or what exactly it is?
Sure. So a hospice unit is when somebody's coming to the end-of-life phase, whether they have a terminal illness, whether they're just elderly, but these are people who can no longer live independently. Their families can't take care of them because of their health issues. So they basically live on a unit at the Veterans Affairs Hospital. And they have nurses, doctors, psychologists like myself who provide care for them 24/7. So if anything happens, slip and fall, medical emergency, they have somebody to help them. And it just makes their quality of life that much better.
Wow. So I bet it comes with a lot of responsibility emotionally, right?
It does, yeah, because most people aren't ready to die, and they don't want to admit the fact that their life is almost over. Sometimes people have a lot that they still want to accomplish, and it's just not possible at this point. So a lot of times people are dealing with depression, sadness, anxiety, family members, they're not ready to lose their loved one, and so it can be very emotionally draining for somebody like myself, for the nurses, the doctors, because when you start working with somebody, you're not going to work with them for very long. I just lost a client this past week on Tuesday morning. I went in, I knew he wasn't doing well. I tried to get to work by 8 a.m. Traffic was terrible. I got there at 9. He passed away at 8:25 in the morning. So I never got to say goodbye to him. So that's tough.
And during this COVID, was it, obviously working on the front line, were you more cautious of what you do or how you do?
Oh, absolutely. We have to wear the N95 masks. We wore the plastic shields over our faces. Sometimes you had to wear the full personal protection outfits, if somebody was suspected of having COVID, but you still have to be able to meet with them. You can't sit as close with people during COVID. Normally you could sit down right next to them, you can hold somebody's hand. During COVID you have to be at least 6 feet away. You don't have the same human connection.
Oh yes. And the feeling of, having, the thought of this person is going to die, and you are trying to tell them that you are going to die in a way that it does not affect them.
Yeah, you just try to help them come to peace with it and say, maybe their pain's gonna be over, that their family isn't gonna have to worry about them anymore, things of that nature.
Oh man, God bless you honestly for what you do. Honestly,
Thank you.
The circumstances how we met, it was a funny one, but
yes.
Regardless, I wanted to come and sit by your place and have a meal together. It's more like breaking this bread together for a smile.
Absolutely.
And I'm glad you said yes.
Yeah, I was very fortunate. I called my sister right after and I was like, I just met this really cool guy. We're gonna talk sometime in the future.
Right. And here we are.
Yeah.
And I'm glad we are here, man. I mean, you got a nice place. You got some ponies going on here, some goats and everything. I love it, man. I love it. And your dog is good.
Oh, thank you.
No problem, man.
So what do you got cooking over there?
Why don't you come here and let me explain you how exactly this works. So this dish is called Pukht. It's meat cooking on steam.
Okay, cool.
Right, so very traditional. It's the dish where I come from, a part of country is very famous for this.
All right.
You can cook it with meat of all sort, lamb, beef, not chicken, I would say.
Yeah.
And not too spicy. It's not very spicy.
Okay.
Natural herbs, black pepper, salt, some veggies, and butter. Normally you add some, you know, the animal's fat, the meat you're cooking, but since we don't have it, I didn't have it where I bought it, so I add some butter in it.
Oh, awesome.
So, very simple, but hopefully you will like it. It's very tasty.
I'm sure I will. It looks good.
Yes. You don't mind spices, do you?
Not at all. I love spicy food.
It's not spicy, I tell you that. All right, Paul. It's about time for us to break the bread.
All right, looking forward to it.
Let me just bring it for you. There you go. Here's your dampo.
Wow, that looks amazing.
By the fire. Oh. Let me bring some naan's bread for you.
Sure. This looks delicious.
How's it, Paul?
This is absolutely amazing.
You like it?
This meat is phenomenal. The vegetables, everything. Oh my God, the seasoning.
Thank you, man. I appreciate. I mean, I'm glad you like it, man. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you doing this for me.
No problem, man. Anytime, anytime.
So this is a really great experience. I'd like to thank you so much for coming out.
My pleasure.
It was a pleasure being able to speak with you today. The food was absolutely incredible. Being able to just talk about my experiences, you know, working over this past year during COVID, the work that I'm doing, everything that you're doing to just bring awareness to people. I'm very grateful that you and I crossed paths.
I'm happy, man. We met and we had a minute to break the bread, and I really appreciate you calling me over. Thank you so much, man.
Thank you for coming, man.
Take care.
Thank you.